And then the other night, I was looking at different themes for the iTerm and ZSH.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, this is cool. I really like these color schemes. And so I started playing around with them. Do you ever do
Yeah,
that?
there's
Do you ever just like,
I did that the first time I started using the terminal a lot more. I
yeah,
installed like all these custom themes,
yeah,
and like I made it like look crazy. Like I put like different cursors and different colors based on like what Git project I was in and like what repository I was in. And yeah, like you could get completely lost in that.
yeah. I decided I really like a terminal to be like just complete black, and then
Hmm.
I like the text colors to be like really bright. So I really like black and green and blue and like
Hmm.
red.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked highlights on certain things. Like so for example, if I'm working in a Git repository
Yeah.
and like I know the branch I'm in, or I don't know the branch I'm in, then at least it highlights it. Or
Oh, nice.
or to see like the repository name, so that I
Yeah.
know which one I'm working in. And then like even status bars. So like when you're installing something, like the status
Mm.
bar is a little bit different. Like it has some animation to it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I did it within Terminal though. I didn't install iTerm or like Terminus or anything like that.
I've only known of iTerm 2.
Terminus is I think it's a paid one, but it's cool because you can install it on your phone as well.
Wait, you use the terminal on your phone?
Yeah, you can. Like I've used it like a couple of times, but I don't use it often. But like
Yeah.
the point is that you can, and then it works kind of like Chrome, where you can you can synchronize your code, like I mean your SSH and like where you're going to. So like yeah, like I could SSH into like the Raspberry Pi and work it from there as well. It's
That's
kind of
cool.
cool.
I remember I downloaded this SSH app from my phone,
Yeah.
thinking I was going to use it, but I never ended up using it, so I just deleted it. But yeah, you could actually definitely use terminal from your phone to log into like the Pi,
Oh, okay, nice. So
which is cool.
what I was thinking, so I was talking to Fine and Fred yesterday
Yeah.
about this. So
Yeah.
I think we should do like 1 to 2 minutes of um, like maybe like setting the context.
Oh, like
So
about like what we're going to actually do?
yeah, not just like the technical stuff, but like why we're doing it.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Why are we
So
doing this though? That's just for fun.
it is for fun, but um, but I'm like so. For example, this episode we're going to be talking about WordPress and WooCommerce, right?
Yeah.
And setting up an online store.
Yeah, but it's mostly just gonna be doing like the nitty gritty stuff. We're not actually gonna like we're gonna install WordPress and WooCommerce, but other than that, are we gonna do anything else?
We're not going to do anything else, but like what I wanted to do at the beginning was just talk about the context of it. So like, I'm going to share my screen quick.
Sure.
Quick tabs. Quick tabs. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted
Yeah.
to bring up some of this stuff. So like right now, especially more than ever, like shop owners are literally like closing their like brick and mortar stores
Mm.
or their shops and trying to move to online stores like so that they can stay open. Like
Yeah.
so many people have like filed for um, like unemployment, like EI stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking that like it's a really big need, especially right now. Like I don't know if you've heard much more about this kind of stuff, but like this is kind of what like has encouraged me to do something like this because it could help a lot of like Canadians, but like anyone really,
Yeah. I
like
agree.
figure out like what to do. So like obviously in this CBC article, they're talking about like Shopify, which again is a Canadian company, which like is cool to use, but it costs money. So like we're not gonna go that route, but like
Yeah.
but they're pointing to like moving to like an online store, right? And I was doing a little bit of research on this, and I found
Yeah.
like a bunch of stores already, like in Toronto, that that have already like switched to online. So like there's secondhand stores like in like downtown and like all over the place. Like there's like a list of them
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
that created online stores already for this stuff, which is like I think that's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah, that is actually really cool, and like they have to do it.
Yeah, like I mean, it actually looks like pretty nice. Like I think some of this stuff is uh like brand name stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that's
this
why
is the
maybe
secondhand store.
yeah, this is a secondhand store that they just made like right away.
That's cool.
So like they're selling like Balenciaga stuff, but like obviously this is not what we need right now. But I'm sure like in this article they have a bunch of different secondhand stores that would be like for cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
But this is all like designer wear, or like some of it is designer wear, like this is Chanel obviously. But like the point is that all these secondhand stores have already moved to Thing. But
Yeah.
forget about these, like even grocery stores. So like local grocery stores are moving to online and delivery options. So I know like Loblaws and like Superstore, they already have this. They had like I think they have like PC pickup, or I don't know what it's called. But basically you can now like log into their site and then pick like groceries that you want, and then I think you have to do it like 1 or 2 days in advance, and then there's like a dedicated area in the parking lot for you to wait, and then someone comes by and just like drops it in your trunk.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So and right now during the coronavirus stuff, it's completely free. So usually I think there's like a monthly charge for it,
Yeah.
but it's completely free right now because like obviously they don't want a lot of people being in their stores, but
Yeah.
then people still need this stuff, right? And so like this blog.to article is talking about how local grocery stores, like because local grocers they don't have access to this like vast amount of cash to actually set up like a system like this,
Yeah.
but based on what we're going to show, I think they can, right?
All right. Let's do it.
And another point is not just grocery stores, but just like general businesses. So there's this article I found on like HBR. I'll just post it, but it talks about like the business side, like the business side of moving to like an online shop.
Okay, that'd be good to post in like the comments or something.
Yeah, like I'll post all these in the comments or something. But yeah, I don't know. I thought providing some context in terms of that would be helpful. What do you think?
Yeah, I think doing a 2-minute blurb about it is okay. You could also talk about it while you're doing it.
Yeah, we will talk about it like right now.
It's whatever we prefer, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to share my screen again.
Okay.
And I actually went ahead and already used Etcher to do all this. So I'm just going to quickly go over exactly what I did because I know it always usually takes a little bit of time. And
I feel like
there's
that
no
part
point.
takes the longest.
Yeah, exactly. So I was just getting annoyed. So what I did was I just downloaded the Raspbian Buster Lite zip file and I extracted it into an image file. And I downloaded it from the official Raspbian website, and I used Etcher to flash the image onto an SD card, a micro SD card, and I put it in the Raspberry Pi. Right, so I just click select image, and I went to the file, and I'll post like the links to like Etcher and like whatever software in the download links in the description. Because otherwise it just takes too long. So anyways, I have the Raspberry Pi running already, and it's just empty, but I've SSH'd in, and so like I'm accessing this like Raspberry Pi right there.
That's excellent.
So I've already SSH'd in, so I'm gonna do all the other setup though from here. So Raspberry config. So what I want to do is, so this is the Raspberry Pi 3. So I'm gonna do a memory split to. So again, this makes me not have to use the GPU and then kind of save the GPU compute for the CPU, so that like whatever we're doing with the web server, it can maximize the computation for the web server instead of displaying any information through the HDMI port or any GPU stuff.
Through the what?
Through the CPU.
No, you said through the HDMI port. What'd you say?
Oh yeah. So like if I plug in the HDMI port, then that's using some of the GPU, right? So I'm not connected through HDMI at all. It's just through network cable and the power.
So because you're not connected through HDMI, then it's not using any of the GPU, right?
Yeah, like I mean, it might be using something, but like it's very minuscule. I don't see why it would be using any GPU right now, because it's not connected to HDMI. It's only console based, and there's no desktop view. So.
And you're not even yeah. It should be 0 because it's not even connected to anything that can display anything, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to do is change the host name so I remember a little bit more. So let's call this Woo server, or
I like
maybe
that
Word.
name.
Woo or Word? Yes.
I think Woo server sounded cool, but it's up to you.
All right, let's do Woo server.
Like Woo, it's a server, and it's because we're using WooCommerce. Woo.
Amazing. It reminds me of Professor Farnsworth. Woo. So I'm gonna finish this, and it's gonna reboot. So let's give it a second to reboot. Okay. But let me talk about what we're gonna be doing more. So based on what we talked about and the context we were setting, we're essentially going to be creating an online store, and we're doing this literally in my house and hosting it on this tiny little Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming most people that watch this don't actually have a Raspberry Pi.
Oh yeah. That's probably true. So
they probably have some shitty old laptop or computer at home.
Exactly. So the steps that we're taking, you can use on any like shitty laptop. Like a shitty laptop is going to be a better laptop than the Raspberry Pi in most cases. Yeah. Like unless you have the Raspberry Pi 4 at like overclocked at like 4 gigabytes of RAM and like overclocked to like whatever 1.5 gigahertz, it's most likely going to be the laptop is going to be better. So I think it's going to be fine to use any laptop that you have. You just will have to make sure that it has some kind of a Linux distribution. So Ubuntu would probably be the easiest one to set up, and you can follow the exact same.
Ubuntu is probably the easiest.
Yeah, and you can follow the exact same like lines of code that we're using. But there's so many different distributions of Linux that you can use. I just find Ubuntu the easiest.
Yeah, I agree. I think after this, I'm actually going to try it on an old laptop of mine and tell Ubuntu, try the same steps. And if there's anything different, then I'll post it in the comments.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to connect back to the Raspberry Pi. Or actually, you know what? We changed the name, so I'm going to SSH into Woo server.
Woo server. Do you have to put .local or would it know?
No, so you have to put .local, otherwise it won't know like what domain to look in. Like local is your domain.
I thought the domain was localhost. Is local an alias for localhost?
No, like your network's domain. Your network's domain is local. So like if you're like in a work domain, for example, like it could be like I don't know, Google company. Or something. Yeah, .company.
Okay.
Okay, so now I'm in, and what we're going to do is we're going to follow mostly this tutorial. Oh, sorry. This tutorial.
Yeah.
To first install Apache. So Apache is our web server, which will allow for us to like serve up files and stuff. And like it allows for like all the configuration. So like if you want to set up your certificates and like make sure that you don't have to use your local like home IP address as like your main domain. Like you can create a new domain somewhere else and then kind of point to it. So like if you have like, I don't know, obviously not google.com, but like if you have some other domain, then you can point your this server to that domain so that other people can access it from the world.
Okay.
So I'm going to follow this and just make sure that everything is working.
So you want to change from your local host to a different name, basically.
Yeah, so like once this installation is done, you'll see like I'll be able to connect to not localhost, but the server name, which is server local.
But
So I'm not going to press enter
is
yet.
just an alias for localhost, right?
Well, like localhost would be my computer, right? So this is the alias for the Raspberry Pi.
Isn't it the same thing?
No, because localhost is literally localhost. Like the computer I'm on right now and talking to you through is the localhost.
I thought
Whereas,
localhost would be the Raspberry Pi because you're on the Raspberry Pi, like SSH'd into it.
but I've only SSH'd into it through the terminal. I'm not SSH'd into it through Chrome, right?
Oh, so it still knows your local. So if you went to your local host, then you shouldn't see this, the website.
Yeah, like if I go to localhost,
Yeah.
then like nothing will happen because there's nothing there. So,
Okay.
but now this is done. So let's try going to local, like the WooCommerce, sorry, the Woo server local, and
Okay.
yeah, you can see that
Okay.
it's done installing. So I'm not going to go through this stuff either, but basically within the Raspberry Pi, they've now installed a couple new directories. So in this directory, in var www.html, they installed this index.html file, and that's what this is.
Okay.
And like it's kind of just saying it works. So the idea is that you can put any of your own files in the same directory, and then make sure that the index.html is there. And it would serve up your own website. But in our cases, we don't want to create a simple website. We want to do like install like WordPress. So and WordPress uses PHP, so we're going to install PHP as well.
Right.
So install that, and then yeah, so it's kind of going through the same thing. So they're installing PHP, and then they're saying let's remove that index.html file and then create a new index.php file. And then they're just creating like a standard like hello world, so it just has hello world in there.
Yeah.
But it's just this demo or this tutorial is showing you that you can run a PHP file after you're finished installing it.
Okay. And you don't want to do that, right?
Yeah, right now I don't
think. That, right?
Yeah, I don't think we need to do that. We're just gonna assume that it successfully installed PHP, and then the next thing we're gonna do is start installing WordPress now. So I'm gonna go to this link, which I have here.
Now these steps, right? Like, could I follow these steps if I didn't have a Pi? Like, I should be able to, right?
Yeah, it's the exact same steps again.
Yeah.
So like if you have Ubuntu installed and you said you're gonna do it on your old laptop, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like you would follow the exact same steps.
Okay.
And there's nothing that's different yet. So this again is like another like testing of PHP. It's just like another part of the tutorial. So I'm actually gonna go to this install MySQL because we already set up this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and even this should be the exact same steps.
All right.
And I'll post these links in the thing as well. So let's see how it's doing. Oh, looks like something went wrong here. I'm gonna just do a sudo apt update just to make sure we have all the updated repository links.
Yes, good idea.
And then run that PHP install again because it looks like something went wrong there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you thinking to install on your old laptop?
Yeah, I have no idea. I just want to try and see if it works. Like I don't have an online store or anything that I want to sell. Like, I guess I could do an online garage sale if I wanted to, but
Yeah, and that's actually a sick idea.
Yeah, yeah, it is actually.
You should do that.
There's nothing we have to sell right now because we just moved in
True.
recently, so we've already gotten
That's
rid
right.
of all of our stuff. But I can just
Yeah,
do it for fun, just to see if it works.
yeah, yeah. You should do it for fun. I mean, you don't like even if you install WordPress, you don't necessarily need to install WooCommerce, right? Like you don't need to set it up as an online store. WordPress is also like a CMS, a content management system,
Yeah.
and so you could just set up a blog. Like you can have like a site where you post a blog. You can have a site where you have like a photo gallery. Like WordPress is a lot of different things, and there's a lot of different plugins for WordPress. I mean, WooCommerce is just one plugin for WordPress, but um, but you can have like you can do other things. Like if you're a photographer, you can use WordPress to showcase your photos. If you're a journalist, you could blog there. If you're, I don't know, anything. Like if you want to just host any website, you can do that there.
Yeah. I have a question for you about the security of this website that we're going to create.
Yeah.
How do you know it's secure? Like, what do you do? Like, because I know that if you wanted to go this route, then it's basically free. I mean, you have to have an old laptop and you have to put the time to do
To
the
set it up.
tutorial and
Yeah.
stuff, right? But if I
Yeah.
we're going to go to like maybe Google Cloud Services or AWS, like I would assume that they would do it a little bit differently than what we're doing. And I would assume they would install some sort of security measure, or you maybe not use Apache, or maybe use something else.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of different things there. So yeah, you can totally go
Yeah,
to
sorry,
like
that's kind of
AW.
loaded.
No, 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 it's okay. You could go to AWS or like Google Cloud or like Microsoft Azure, like any of the existing like software as a service or like platform as a service applications out there,
Mhm.
and do the exact same thing. And what they would end up doing is they would give you probably a virtual server where they would give you like a public IP address to access, and generally they'll have like maybe like all of the different dependencies that you want in one server installed, or they'll give you just like a Ubuntu server that you can access via SSH through an IP address that's public. And that's literally the exact same thing we're doing.
What
Literally,
about
like,
security issues?
yeah, so it's literally the exact same thing we're doing. The only difference is that we're exposing our public home IP address to the outside world. But there's also ways to get like that like hidden, just like you would hide it on AWS. So on AWS, it's the same thing. That public IP address is hidden as well. But you could use like CDNs, Cloudflare. Let me show.
Okay.
So there's something called Cloudflare that that basically hides uh, hides the local IP address, and it kind of copies all the content, and it like sends the traffic through another proxy. So like if like an attacker is trying to get access to your server IP address,
Yeah.
the attacker won't ever know the actual public IP address of your server. It'll always get rerouted to like different IP addresses, and that's what this service does. And obviously, this is
Wait.
not free.
So, so okay. It says there's a free version for some projects
Yeah.
that aren't business critical. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and there'll probably be like some limited bandwidth and stuff. But yeah, like I mean, yeah, you can get this one, but this is the idea. So the reason you would do something like this is to avoid a DDoS attack. It's a
That's
denial of service attack.
denial of service. Yeah.
So that would be like the main reason you'd want to set up this security measure. So like if someone just is trying to like brute force their way into your server
Yeah.
using an IP address, then this service, Cloudflare, they'll kind of like um, they'll intercept it and kind of send it to different IP addresses to like fuck with that person.
Yeah. So
And so
then,
their DDoS won't necessarily work.
but But they wouldn't know that they wouldn't know that I'm using this, right? Because it would redirect it to just would it redirect it to one IP address or would it redirect it to a multitude of IP addresses?
Yeah, I think it's a multitude, but like Cloudflare has their own like algorithms to
Yeah,
set up the security. But this
that's
is like
cool.
a secondary service on top of any server that you put in,
Oh, okay,
right?
okay,
So
yeah,
and in addition to that, we're also setting up an SSL certificate, right? And so
yeah,
that's like this little thing, like it's to make sure that everything is encrypted, like all the traffic is being encrypted. And so right now, because it's on the Raspberry Pi, we haven't set that up yet. And uh, like if we were on the what's it, Woo server,
yeah.
local. Yeah, it's I think the server's down now because we turned it off. But like when it was up for a second, it said not secure because there's no SSL certificate installed just yet.
And what's so big about SSL certificates? What do they actually do?
So it's kind of like a web standard nowadays, because what it does is it allows for a third party to validate the site's security through a third party. So like a third party kind of checks the site and makes sure that it doesn't have like any uh, it doesn't have any like insecurity threats, I guess. And that's how the SSL certificate is kind of issued to the site or to the web server.
Okay, so the third party checks make sure that your website is not nefarious or not doing anything sketchy, and then
Exactly.
it allows the traffic coming into the server to be encrypted.
Exactly.
Okay, okay,
So I'm now just installing the MySQL, which is the
okay.
database that WordPress is going to use in this case. So all the blogs, all the files, all the products, all the whatever you want to store within WordPress is going to be saved
Yeah,
in a MySQL database, and that's what I'm installing right now on the Raspberry Pi.
and that's all behind the scenes, right? Like if I do these steps, I don't actually have to know SQL to do any of this, right?
Yeah, I don't know SQL. So yeah, I'm installing it, and then we're gonna set up just a database name for it for this for WordPress,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think you can use multiple different kinds of databases like for WordPress, but I may be mistaken. I know like other servers or apps use different kind of databases based on what they're trying to do. Like most of the time, um, like native applications like iOS and Android applications, I think they use Postgres QL, which is like another type of database. But a lot of like web-based applications, they use like a JavaScript type database like MongoDB or like other things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know the advantages and disadvantages of either of them or any of them. I mean, I just know that most of the time it's different based on the type of application you're using. But I'm literally just following this tutorial, and I know that MySQL is used typically for WordPress, but I think a lot of people also use Postgres. Um, but I think MySQL is the most common.
No, but Postgres SQL, it's like a more specialized version, I guess, of MySQL.
Yeah, yeah,
When I guess
exactly.
that, I don't know.
I think it's a SQL database, right?
I know that different companies will have their own versions of SQL.
Hmm.
They'll have like they'll make their own commands and stuff. Like I know they do that, but I don't know if Postgres is exactly that.
No, I think Postgres is a slightly different, but it is a SQL database. But I don't know what the difference is. But yeah, you're right about the companies using their own shit, because MySQL and PostgreSQL, I believe, are open source, and then certain companies, they take the open source project and then they kind of tweak it to add their own shit, which is like similar to
Yeah,
most open source software tools out there. Most of the time, someone takes it and then like customizes it to their company's requirements, and then uses it that way. And also so that nobody else, like if they're redefining like the the architectural structure of the databases. They're probably doing it so that nobody else can have access to it, right? They're doing it in a specific way. Maybe their search algorithm will be better that way. Maybe their data retrieval system will be better that way. But that's why they generally do it, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So I'm gonna see where we are. Okay. We're gonna restart the Apache server,
Okay.
and now we should be able to install WordPress now. So, so the other thing I wanted to do is in here, yeah, we have our index.html. So that's our server.local. So we still have this file here, yeah, and this is what I was talking about, not secure.
Yeah.
So we'll fix that. Yeah, we'll fix that to make sure it's secure. But that's so this index.html, that's where that file that's being served up is. But what we want to do is I want to create a new folder just for this site. And the reason I'm doing that, hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to just keep the option open in case I want to install multiple other web servers on this same Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to create a folder and call it just server.
Okay.
I'm going to create, let's call it 1, 2, 3. .ddns.net. And the reason I'm calling it this is because I'm going to register this free domain with no IP.
Okay.
So I'm going to put all of the files within that folder. So I'll cd into there. And so now I'm going to follow the same steps that this is saying. So I'm going to download the latest version of WordPress there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to extract it. Extract. And then
so
I'm
you're
going to
installing WordPress in a different folder. And
but I'm not
folder...
installing it yet. Yeah, I'm just downloading it into that Woo server folder.
Wait, you're going to install it in that folder, right? Like you're going to
Yeah, I'm going to
it
install it there too. Yeah, so I'm just moving the folder into that directory.
Okay.
And then I'll remove the download file and remove it anymore. So now if I go ls, I can see the context now. So like all of these are the required files for WordPress to run.
There is no installation, basically.
There is. The installation is just making sure the database is all set up correctly, and it's kind of done within the browser.
Okay.
So I'll do that now. So this is the SQL side of it. So what we're going to do is set up the actual database for WordPress to use. So I'm not going to change any of this stuff. Disallow, sure. Move test loader, sure. Load, sure. Okay, so I just said to create the SQL installation, and now I'm gonna go into SQL. The password is just like Raspberry, which is what the root password was. I didn't change anything. And then so now I'm gonna create the database for WordPress. And I called it WordPress, and I'm gonna allow all privileges to allowed. And for your reference, see how it says localhost?
Yeah.
So do you get why it says localhost? Because remember I said that I'm on my computer, that's not the localhost. But because I'm in the SSH, like I'm literally on the Pi.
So you're saving it in the Pi itself.
Exactly. So then you can call it localhost because it's within the Pi.
Okay, but your terminal is still bound to your own laptop.
Yeah, the terminal is on the actual application of the terminal is on my laptop, but I'm SSH through. So anything I type in here is as if I'm typing it in the Pi.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Because when you actually typed in your browser, you typed in localhost.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was referring to
So
your own laptop because, yeah, I don't know why I was confusing the terminal and the browser being the same. I don't know why I did that. I realized my mistake. It was foolish.
it's okay. So yeah, that was it for the database side of things. So now I'm gonna refresh this and let's see if anything changes.
It shouldn't change.
Should,
No, it
but
shouldn't because you left everything the same. You didn't change the. It still has the index.html. You have to go to the other website.
oh, you know why? It's because I didn't. Yeah, remember we have to change some Apache settings.
You do?
Apache virtual host. Yeah, so you're right. We didn't change any settings. So we're in the Apache server file. It still thinks that it needs to go to the slash HTML folder to find the index.html, right? But remember, we created a new folder, so we have to create a new configuration file that says, oh, if you go to this, if you go to the default folder, actually don't go to HTML, go to this new folder we created.
Okay, so
You
you
know
need to
what I'm
change the
talking about?
configuration settings.
Yeah. So do you remember what I was talking about now?
Yeah, I remember you were talking about. But you still need to have a different URL pointing to it, right?
Yeah, eventually that's the other thing we need to do.
Yeah. Would it make more sense to do the URL first so that it's. I guess it doesn't matter, right?
What do you mean?
So, right now, the in the folder, the var/www/html, that's an index.html folder. Sorry, index.html file. And right now, every time I go to localhost on the Pi, right,
Right.
it's configured to go to that folder and then serve whatever's in that folder, right?
Right.
So that URL is kind of bound to that folder. But what we need to do is we need to change it such that when it goes to that URL or a different URL, it bypasses that folder, goes to a different folder, and then uses the files in that folder, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
So
it
I'm
can still
gonna,
be the same URL, but it wouldn't make sense to use the same one, right?
yeah, exactly. So what I'm gonna
Okay.
do is I'm gonna do exactly that. So I'm gonna so we have to create virtual hosts. That's what they're called within Apache of 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 the new URL we created. So the way you would do that is um, we want to copy the default one. So the default one is pointing to like just the slash HTML.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is create a new one, and we're going to call it new server dot 123.pdns.net.
Okay.
Okay. And it's going to go into the sites available, the same place that the default one is in. So this one already exists. This one already exists. We're just copying it and calling it this file name. So
Yeah.
we did that, and then now we're going to edit that file. So yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah. Okay.
so let's edit this file now. So what we want to do is create this server name, and the server name is going to be um, woo server dot 123.pdns.net. So before I do that and confirm it, I should just register it.
Yeah,
So
that's necessary. And then we just fetch it down. And this
so
is free, right?
yeah, this is free. As long as I think 3 are free.
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove this guy. So we want to call it new server 123, and we're just creating a DNS host.
What's the difference between a DNS host and the other ones?
Fuck. They only have one.
This is why we should have done this first.
Yes, they should have. Okay, so what should I do? See if woo server is there. It's okay.
Okay, yeah.
Nice. Okay, so we'll just woo server. So just remember that this is the domain.
Okay.
Let's copy that. So what I'm going to do is just get rid of this. And then the document root. So this is the key. So the original was just at HTML, but now we created that new one. So woo server. We created this folder already, so I'm just going to use the same folder.
Yeah.
.net. So that is that. And then that should be it. So let's save that.
Okay.
And then so the other thing we have to do is make sure that that port is free within our router. So
Wait, couldn't you access it right now? Or no?
you
should be able to, right?
No, because it's not this. This is still pointing to the HTML folder, but our new domain is pointing to the new server. We have to go to the domain to physically access the server.
So the domain is not. Well, the domain is not on your local host.
Yeah. So you know what? Actually, can you share your screen and try it?
Sure. Give me 1 second.
So you should be able to go to woo-server.dns.net.
Okay.
I don't know if I have to. I might actually. Before you do that, I'm gonna actually. Yeah, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. Yeah, I'm gonna take over sharing again for a second.
Sure.
There's a few. I think there's a few things that I needed to do still. Yeah, sorry, I didn't set up the alias.
Do you need to set up an alias, or is that
I
just?
don't think we need that, right? But we do need.
But you should set it up, right? Because people are probably going to type in www dot, right?
Yeah, actually, you're right. So
Yeah.
I make this file again. Server alias. Server so that. But the other thing I need to do is actually enable it. So I called the file to server DNS.net. So enabled. And then I also want to disable the default one. That's the key.
Do you need to disable the default one, because it's pointing to something else, right?
Yeah, it's pointing to something else, so I didn't want it to do that. And then I'm gonna just run this actually. This. Okay. And okay, so now can you share your screen?
Sure. So let's share the screen. Okay. It's woo-server.dns.net, right?
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't be able to access it.
Why?
Oh, what?
Why
How come
shouldn't you
I'm
be
able
able
to
to
access it?
Because I already set up the port forwarder.
Oh, wait a minute. So what if you went on your local host? Would it just go to the same thing or no?
Yeah.
Okay. So should I set this up?
Yeah, so click on English.
Continue. Let's go.
Sorry. Yeah, so go to continue, and then under database, are you in database name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to call this? Woo server?
No, it has to be called WordPress because we created the name already.
Oh, okay.
So this
Username
is the
admin.
database name that has to match exactly what we created for MySQL. So this is WordPress. The username has to be root, and the password is raspberry.
And database host.
Yeah, all that stuff is fine. So you can hit submit.
Okay, so submit. Run
And
installation.
then, yeah.
All right, Sparky. Site title is Woo server, right?
Yeah, so let's call this something like a store or something. I don't know.
Woo store. I don't know.
Call it like garage sale. I don't know. Like, I mean, most people, they're not going to use this for a garage sale. They're literally going to take their brick and mortar store or whatever they were selling and or whatever they were doing and try to create an online store for themselves. But yeah, you can call it anything you want. That's jokes. That is the best thing ever. Yeah, just use admin for the username and then just
Okay.
copy that password to me so that I have it just in case I need to log in.
Yeah, let me do that now before I forget. There you go. Okay. Email. What was it? Techycast?
I don't know. Did you create it?
Yeah, I did. Hold on. Let me just check again.
You can use like that other RB one still. Like we don't have to check the email. It's just for backup, I guess.
Yeah. Oh no, that's just my main email. Okay. It's this. Techycast 786. Okay.
And then yeah, just
Install WordPress?
Yeah.
All right.
So it's pretty cool. Already we were able to install WordPress on a Raspberry Pi, and you're accessing it, not me. Like it's already like available to the outside world. So you're able to access like this tiny little piece of shit thing here. And
Show some respect for the Pi.
so
but there's
obviously,
an issue though.
yeah, what is it? It's slow.
Oh, okay, fine. Yeah. Aside from it being slow, like if someone else were to watch this live, couldn't they just hijack what I'm doing?
Yeah, of course they could. But we're not doing this live.
Yeah. Does it usually take this long to install?
Yeah, I think this part did.
Okay, yeah. Hold on, let me go to Google Chrome. Just double check.
What do you want to double check?
Just the email that's working. Should I get an email from them? That WordPress is installed?
Yeah, you might. Yeah, check it.
No, nothing yet.
I don't think your screen updated.
WordPress installed. All right, so I'm going to log in.
Nice.
Admin. Type in the password. Log in. I don't know.
It's pretty sick. Brick and mortar. That's amazing.
This is cool. When you said brick and mortar, I thought it was Rick and Mortar, and then Rick and Morty, and I was like, oh. Should I actually install WooCommerce, or do you want to take over?
Yeah, I think we need to do just one more thing before. So yeah, you can. I can just start sharing my screen.
All right, so I'm going to log out then.
Okay. So the next thing we wanted to do was to do the SSL stuff, right?
Or with SSL certificates, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going to run the installation for SSL, which is going to be using Let's Encrypt.
Okay.
Again, this is everything that we've done so far is completely free, like other than like your time.
Other than the time, yeah.
And
again, the only main issue I think is like if you do get hacked, then
like, but what
do you do then actually?
So like when you say that, like obviously it's obviously serious not to get hacked, but like what is making you believe that you're gonna get hacked? Because you're doing this yourself, or like what's the reason? Like this is no different than what like it would be on Amazon or Google servers. Like it's just them installing it versus you.
So then how does Amazon ensure or Google ensure that your website doesn't get hacked?
They can't always do that. Like you if someone gets your local IP, if someone gets your server IP address and it's exposed to the world, which most sites are,
Yeah.
then they do have access to keep hitting it. And so eventually, through brute force, any site can be hacked.
Okay. But like, so when you say brute force, you mean like they're just trying to log in over and over again?
Yeah, or there's like vulnerabilities. So like usually like um, with security, it's always something to do with some kind of a software, like some kind of a vulnerability built into the software. And
Yeah.
so like a lot of hackers, they quickly look at uh, like code to find vulnerabilities, right?
Mm.
And so that lets them kind of a backdoor into your site, right? So WordPress may have some vulnerabilities, like they've had vulnerabilities in the past, and then generally they have security patches that
Yeah.
update the vulnerability. But like all software has it. That is the point, right?
Okay.
So the best thing to do is to mitigate the risk, but that's not to say it's like it's literally the exact same for Amazon or Google versus you. Like, there's no difference in terms of that.
Yeah, but I'm assuming if you're with AWS or you're with Google Cloud Services, then if your website does get hacked, then I'm assuming they would offer you some. I'm assuming they would offer you some support because you're subscribed to them or you're paying them just to host the site, right?
Yeah.
Versus you doing it on your own. Like if you do it on your own and that does happen, even if it's an unlikely event, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what do? Do you contact WordPress because you've installed WordPress, or does it become a WordPress issue then, or?
Well, it's always going to be your own server issue because WordPress is again like open source. So like obviously if you report the vulnerability, um, then then WordPress will try to do something about it. But the community around WordPress will try to do something about it. But
Yeah.
but generally it's like it's up to you to figure out if it's your own server. But yeah, like if you're paying like Google or Amazon and you don't know what the issue is, they'll most likely help you. Like that's literally their job.
Yeah.
Um,
So I guess that's
that's what you
one
pay for,
reason.
though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Certbot, Apache. So I have Certbot installed now. So I'm just looking for the command to create the SSL certificate for our site.
Okay.
And it's right here. So maybe this, and then our domain is wooserver.bdns.net. So
You also have to
this,
do it for the triple W one.
no, because we didn't set up a DDN, like a DNS for that. It's just, we just set it up for this. But we have the, what's the email address?
Techycast, YCAST 786
Okay.
Gmail. Yeah.
Yeah, we also have the server alias that points to www, so we should be good.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So yeah, I'm just going through like the standard steps here, and it's going to create the certificate and then run a background check and then validate it,
Okay.
which is
This
cool.
ensures that traffic on our network is encrypted.
Exactly, and so we're going to make sure that there's a redirect as well. So anyone that goes to like HTTP will automatically be transferred to HTTPS.
Okay.
And looks like that's it. We need to restart. Oh, and this command will also just make sure that certbot does like an auto renewal. So like this certificate only lasts for 90 days.
Yeah.
And so this will make sure that it automatically runs every 89 days or something. by itself, so you don't have to touch it afterwards.
Oh, that's cool. I had a question for you for that website you used. What was it? Noip.com or mynoip.com?
Yeah.
How long do those IP addresses? Sorry, how long do those domain names last for?
So they last for 30 days, but you can go back and just renew them every 30 days, or you can have something installed on here that automatically renew them every 30 days as well.
Okay.
But
Are you
it's
gonna
free.
install
It's
something
free.
on here?
I'm not going to install anything on here, no.
Okay, so that thing you have to do manually.
Yeah, that thing you just have to like say it's still the same IP address, because most IP addresses at your house, like your ISP, like Bell or Rogers, whoever, Telus,
Mm-hmm.
they generally they generally don't give you a static IP address. They send you a dynamic IP address, and it changes over time, because I think
Mm-hmm.
static costs a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so that's why they do it, because that server that we registered, it's pointing to the IP address of my home, right? And so that generally changes. And so after 30 days, they just want to make sure that it's still the same. That's the whole point of it,
Okay. Okay.
right? Because the server is pointing to somewhere, so it has to always point to the same thing. So I'm gonna try it now. So server.ddns.net. That worked. So
Excellent.
we got the connection is secure. The certificate is valid, and it's encrypted by Let's Encrypt, and it expires July 28th.
Okay.
Super cool.
That is really
So
cool.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to /wp-admin and log in. So admin and then the password you posted in here.
Yeah. Yeah. We should probably change this now after this.
Like that's okay. I'm most likely gonna just take down the server anyway. So,
Oh, okay.
but what we do want to do now is install WooCommerce. So now we're in the admin side of WordPress, right?
Yeah.
And so let's add a new plugin, and let's look for WooCommerce. Install. So yeah, like I think a lot of what we're doing right now would help a lot of folks, especially given the current economic climate. There's a lot of stuff that is now the new normal, um, and it's I think it's going to be really different than what we're used to. I don't know. What do you think?
Um, I think after all this is done, maybe like a year from now, when like they actually have a vaccine and everyone gets vaccinated or whatever, I think a lot of things will go back to normal. Like
Yeah,
I think a lot of things will go back to normal. Like
but like remember we talked about this before. Like for 21 days straight, people have been like living like this. They're creating new habits. Like they're
that's
creating
true.
new ways of doing things. Like for example, my day job, like so much has changed because we haven't been able to see each person like physically,
Yeah.
that like all of our work is completely remote, and it's become like normal to do it that way. Like, and not only normal, but it's become more efficient.
It's more
Like,
efficient.
yeah, it's more efficient. Like I'm able to have like the meetings are still the same, because sometimes we had meetings like through like Google Hangouts or Google Meet.
Yeah.
But now like in person, there's a lot of like time that's you like not wasted. It's time that's used to talk about like just like random shit. But
Yeah.
but now it's kind of like, okay, this is what we need. This is what we need, and it's done. Or there's a tool to get it done faster.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. When I said normal, I think I had to clarify. In the workplace, no, a lot of things will change because like I think
Yeah.
things were gearing towards work from home more and more. Like that was becoming more of a norm, and I think this COVID was like a catalyst to like make this the norm faster.
Mm.
But in terms of norm, like people are still gonna go out. They're still gonna go to restaurants. They're still gonna go to movies. They're still gonna have like all these concerts and fests and festivals and everything. Um, the high five is not gonna go away. The handshake is not gonna go away. Like we're social creatures, and so
Yeah.
that's still
I
gonna
mean, I
happen.
agree. I agree with some of that stuff. I don't know about the movie theater stuff. I think,
Yeah, I don't know
I
about movie
think
theaters either. But people
maybe
are
movie
still gonna go
theaters.
out.
Yeah. I think 100%. Like people already go out. Like I go out and go for runs and stuff. But like in terms of like travel, for example, like that's different. Like
That's gonna change.
supply chain is very different, I think, and it's getting very different. Like uh, a lot of like local companies are building their own like hyper local supply chains. So like for example, I think in like Calgary, there's a brewing company that has repurposed their alcohol usage to create hand sanitizer, and like they're
That's really cool.
distributing it. Yeah, they're distributing it like locally. So I think that's like really cool. And then like
Yeah,
the thing I was showing earlier with the grocery stores, right? Like the grocery stores going local, going online, right? Like only the people that lived in that area would have known about that grocery store before, but now they can go like kind of online and or set up pickup options so that people can come in, right? Like so their reach is getting a little bit bigger in terms of their local space. They're obviously not going to ship like globally, but
no,
they're going to ship or like have couriers that come pick up food for people and then go drop it off to like whatever the Uber Eats side of things. So I
yeah,
don't
but
know.
that to me was already becoming the norm because like restaurants are already online, and you can do the same thing with a restaurant. You can order what you want at the restaurant online, and then go to the restaurant and pick it up. I think it was
Yeah,
only a matter of time before all small stores did that.
yeah,
But people are still gonna go inside the store and view things and try them on.
yeah,
But yeah, in
yeah.
terms of
That's true.
airfare, sorry, in terms of like travel, that's definitely gonna change. I think if you're sick at all, like
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna be more strict on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the healthcare system is gonna be completely revamped.
Like how so?
Like, because after this is done,
Mm-hmm.
I think um, I think they're gonna have to hire just more healthcare workers, or they're gonna have to increase the infrastructure so that there's more beds or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because this is ridiculous, right?
I mean, it's ridiculous right now, but like, why would they hire more beds if this is the peak?
I think like a just in case emergency. I don't know actually. I don't know. Like, or maybe
Yeah,
they're gonna change like the mask that they have because there's like there's a shortage of them. Maybe they're gonna make different ones that are non-disposable. You just throw them in the wash and they're clean.
yeah. I think there's some of those that have come out already, but yeah, I think it's a matter of being sterile versus reusable. Because yeah, like a lot of people walk around with like the masks that have already been contaminated. So like they keep wearing the same ones because they
Yeah,
think that they're saving themselves, but like if they've worn them a couple of times and they've come into contact with someone who's like infected or something, then yeah, that mask is kind of useless unless they never took it off in that whole period. Like if they literally slept with it, didn't touch it with their hands, didn't do anything, which obviously they didn't. Um,
yeah.
but I don't think people realize like all the nuances to masks, right? Because it's a very new thing. But
It
you
is
can
very new.
literally only wear it like a couple times, and then you kind of have to throw it away or like recycle it.
Yeah, that's true. I have a mask too. I hate wearing it.
Yeah, or like yeah, you should wear it when you go outside,
Yeah,
but you should also remember that the mask can get infected too. Like it's not like it's immune or anything. It's
that's true. That's a good point. But then after a certain while, like the germs would eventually die off, so you could wear the mask again, right?
I don't know about that. Like I'm not sure. That doesn't sound right, but I'm also not sure. So like we should probably fact
I
check it
remember
out with someone.
I remember they were talking about like the germs can last in the air for a few hours. It lasts on steel for like a few days. It lasts on all these surfaces for a certain amount of time. So that makes me think that like after a certain amount of time after living on my mask, it has to die.
Hmm.
I just don't know when that time is.
Oh, I see.
But then again, I have
Yeah,
no idea. I have no idea.
yeah. I'm not sure either, but like just in general, like I'm talking about. Um, like stay-in economy, right? Like where there's a lot less people going outside and spending money, and so that means that like some of these subscription services companies like Netflix and like some of the other ones, they're the ones that are kind of making the most amount of money right now. So what
Oh,
happens
that's a
to
good
all
point.
these like businesses that are struggling like as a result of that? Like think about like physiotherapists, um like dentists, like people you literally have to physically go, like barbershops, like all these companies that you have to go to spend your money with them. Like what? Like these guys are like fucked. Like seriously.
Yeah, they're having a hard time. Like the reason I shave my head is because I can't go get my hair cut, and I'm not good at cutting my own hair, so this is the only option. Um, I think they're gonna actually try to do home visits.
Yeah. So I think some have already started to do home visits, but again, like pe- people, especially right now, they're a little bit scared of that, right? Like whose other home did you go to before you came here? And like people think about that stuff, right?
Yeah,
So
but
yeah,
there's
it's
some home visits that are essential, like PSW services. They're still going on.
yeah. I know my grandma gets PSW, like my dad gets PSW. Yeah, like
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
for sure.
and we
It's
have them
very,
like
very
three
essential.
times a day coming in. So,
Yeah. Are they still like wearing masks and gloves and stuff?
oh yeah, they're wearing masks and gloves, and they're wearing gowns and everything. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same with her. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be tough for some of these companies.
but
And
that's why
having
I think barbers are gonna do the same thing. They're just gonna like they're gonna wear gowns, they're gonna wear masks, they're gonna wear gloves, and it's the same thing dealing with like if you're a PSW worker, right? And you go
yeah,
to someone's house, you have to help them physically. Like you can't help them from a distance. That's not how it works.
yeah,
So I think those other services will start doing something similar. Obviously, a dentist, I don't think he can bring his whole toolkit with him.
yeah, I agree. Um, so yeah, sorry, I'm just gonna go back to uh, this WordPress stuff. It looks like most of it is ready. So it's asking where your store is located. So I'm just gonna put in the address for University of Toronto. Let's go Canada.
M5S.
What is it? M5S what? Something new.
I don't know.
1A1.
Oh, 1A1. Okay.
1A1. Okay, continue. What do you want to set it up as? Home furniture garden? Or let's do
Okay.
electronic computers? I don't know. Let's do
Yeah,
both.
yeah. Let's do that. Let's do both. It's an interesting hybrid of a
Physical?
story. Yeah,
Physical
physical
products?
products. Yeah. We also have downloads too, because you can download software.
Yeah, that's true. How many
Okay.
products? I don't have any products yet. Maybe 1 to 10. I don't have any products yet.
Yeah.
Currently selling elsewhere. So this is a good question for people that already have a brick and mortar. So I'm assuming that they can say, yes, we have physical stores as
Yeah.
well. Maybe, yeah, sure, I'll select that as well.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm getting started. So yeah, it also lets you set up kind of your marketing channels as well. I'm gonna just turn these off because I don't want anything right now. But like, if you are planning on setting up ads and stuff through Facebook or Google or Mailchimp, like
Yeah.
email, then you can do it like straight from here, which
Oh,
is
that's cool.
cool. So you can also select a theme. So some of these themes they cost money,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll just select the free one or a free one.
Yeah.
Uh, or you can upload your own. Let's
Well, the free ones
do
are very limited, but they still are good.
this. Yeah, it's still fun. And there's lots of free ones like on like if you like Google, you can find other free ones as well. So
Yeah.
click it. Choose. Oh, I did choose it. It's just loading. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Choose.
I think that's the problem with the Pi. It's just slow, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay, there. Yeah, because I clicked on it a bunch of times, and then I guess I didn't do anything, and it came here. Okay, so
Okay.
it looks like it set it up, which is sick. So yeah, let's add a product. I don't know. What should be with the first item we add?
Raspberry Pi.
Oh, this Raspberry Pi,
Yes,
like the
this
one we
exact
just
one.
installed. Oh, that's a tactic. That is a tactic. So this Raspberry Pi, or like what?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that. This Raspberry Pi.
We are selling the Raspberry Pi that has this installed. This is this.
Excellent. Excellent.
Let's add an image as well. Raspberry Pi. I'm not going to take a picture with my phone because I feel like it'll take too long, but I'll just grab one from here.
Excellent, using Wikipedia's page.
Save that.
I think Wikipedia images, like, you can always use them in your websites, right?
I don't know. I think Wikipedia's you can.
Yeah.
What should be the price?
How much is the price actually of the Pi?
$10,000. Let's keep it on sale for
10?
$20.
$20, okay.
So anything else? Should be good enough. Let's see.
I
So
think that's good enough. Right?
Yeah, just let me just go through some stuff because I think some of the stuff is really cool. So you can set it up as a simple product, which is what we're doing. You can have like group products. So like for example, if you have like shoes, then it would be a shoe would be more of a variable product because then you could have different inventories based on the size or the width or the color or like whatever. So it lets you do all this stuff. And then it also lets you have like an inventory. So you have your SKU, like if you have your own inventory system, but then you can also manage the stock like within this software. And like if you have like some kind of an online or like electronic kind of inventory system, you can have it connected to this automatically. Like you can have like your shipping stuff set up automatically too. So like if you're using like some kind of like your shipping station or like some shipping software to kind of like synchronize with Canada Post or like FedEx or UPS, like that's all built into the software, which is like sick.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna just do regular price, publish that shit up.
All right, let's see it then.
Huh?
So let's see it then, because it should appear on the main website now, right?
Yeah.
All right, let me go to the main website actually.
I don't think, just give it a second before you go. And then the other thing is that I think we have to change the URL within the web in the WordPress settings because it's pointing to HTTP still for some reason. So is it not secure?
Oh, really? Mine's secured right now when I went to it.
Yeah, I think the site is secure, but because we're on the admin side, it converted itself somehow.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go to general. Yeah, so I think this is why. So I'm gonna go HTTPS.
Oh, okay.
And then save that.
I'm on the site now, and it installed a new theme, and it shows that it is a WooCommerce site.
Yeah, do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure. One sec. Wow. You see it now, right?
I see myself.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is it now. One
Oh
comment.
man, this is like the worst goddamn theme ever.
I'm sure you've seen worse themes.
It's so gross.
Okay. So
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, click on shop.
view your shopping cart. Oops.
Click on shop.
Yeah. Should be one item there now.
Yes,
Yes.
$10,000 to $20. Big major sale.
Oh my
Huge
god.
sale.
Add this to the cart. Add this to
Yo,
the
buy this
cart. Add
ASAP.
this
This
to
is
the
the cheapest
cart.
shit ever.
View cart. Quantity 4.
Yo, buy 50 of them.
Here's a coupon code. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Oh, you're fine.
But yeah, you can
Proceed
see
to
like
checkout.
we can program our own coupon codes. Like we can do like a lot of different things.
Yeah. Oh, it made this form already right there already.
Yeah, because like it's all built
Yeah.
into the database. Like it's built automatically.
What would I quick place order now? Ah, I like that. Okay.
Math blank. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm very impressed by the speed of it now. Like it's running much faster as well. Like I mean, can you tell that this is being run on a Raspberry Pi?
No.
Like right now, like
Invalid payment method.
as a customer.
No.
Isn't that amazing?
Invalid payment method.
Yeah, because we didn't enable any payment methods.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah. Okay. No,
Like
I
in the
can't tell
admin.
that it is.
Isn't that sick?
It's a little slow, but it's not super slow that I would think that it's run on a Pi. No, I would never think that.
So what I'm gonna present my screen again.
Okay.
Because I got to this other area where I can kind of set up the actual site. So like it lets me kind of customize it the way I want,
Yeah.
which makes it easier for like people trying to set up a site, right? You can set up you can add your logo really easily. You can add like a header, like you can do a bunch of stuff like really easily.
Okay.
So I'm gonna skip this stuff, but like you can set up all your menus, like what shows up here, like kind of like how this works as well, like categories.
How did you get to this actually?
It showed up in the admin, like it's like, do you want to set up your store? Because we didn't really set up
Oh,
like the
okay.
design of it. We didn't set up the design of it,
Yeah.
so I think. Can you share your screen again?
Sure.
I think if you refresh that page, it should have like a slightly newer design.
Okay, let's just go to home.
Yeah. See that?
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. It does have a new design.
So you can shop by category or like see what's new, what's on sale. Like it gives a little bit more of like that online store feel. But
Bestsellers,
again,
on sale, fan favorites, new in.
yeah. But again,
Funny.
you can easily install like a paid theme. Like even though the themes are like I don't know anywhere between like 20 to like $100, like you never
Yeah.
have to pay for them again. So like if you find a theme that like is really nice, like for Shopify, you still have to pay for themes. Like there's free themes,
Yeah.
but you still have to pay for themes in addition to what you're paying monthly. So I mean, this is no different.
I think it's actually worth it because you just
It's
pay
worth it.
if you really like the theme, then
Yeah, you just a one-time fee, and like you're not
yeah,
paying monthly to WooCommerce. Like it's already installed. Like we literally have paid
yeah,
$0 so far, and we have a store that's functioning.
yeah. And you're more likely to visit a store that has a nicer interface than a store that doesn't have a nicer interface.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's
Totally.
100% worth it,
Yeah.
like in the long run. So
Yeah, I totally agree.
yeah.
Anyways, I think that's it for this episode that I wanted to talk about. Do you want to talk about anything else?
I think we've hit on pretty much everything except no, I think we've hit on pretty much everything. Like the reason why you would choose this over something like Google Cloud Services, right? Is because it's a lot cheaper. It's infinitely cheaper, basically. But the only difference is if there is some security issue that obviously Google Cloud Services can definitely help you out. But we've mitigated that by using SSL certificates, therefore encrypting the data that's transferring over
Yeah,
our
and I
network.
also brought up the Cloudflare. Like you can set up
And there's
Cloudflare
Cloudflare
on
too,
this as
right?
well. Yeah.
I guess there's one other thing I'm wondering about, and that is if there's too much traffic on our network, right? Would you then be forced to scale up to Google Cloud Services?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. You can do that, or you can kind of set up a cluster of Raspberry Pis, or kind of switch. Like, I mean, ideally, you're not working on a Raspberry Pi for like a full like website that you
Yeah,
have like thousands of customers per day. Um,
yeah,
like you can do that on a computer, like an old computer. That would make sense. But a
yeah,
Raspberry Pi is kind of overkill or underkill really for that kind of thing. So
yeah.
yeah, if you have an old laptop, then you can totally do that. I mean, old laptop should be more than enough um, processing
Okay.
power and speed and all that.
What about
Um,
bandwidth?
so yeah, it depends on your home ISP, like your home internet service provider. If you have like good bandwidth, you have a good speed,
Yeah.
and you're always connected, then I don't see why not. Like my home internet service is unlimited bandwidth, and I have like I think like a 600 megabit or 300 megabit, something like that connection, which is decent enough
Yeah.
um, to get the stuff I want. So so yeah, I think it's good enough. Like I think you want to start somewhere. So like first set up your store, right? Like set it up and like have
Mm.
like some products and see how it goes. And like if you see it scaling up, then yeah, of course you can build accordingly. And then maybe you
Yeah.
can pay someone else to do it for you. But at least this way you have like some starting point because so many people out there have brick and mortar stores that have like they can't do anything. They're not making any money anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So so like yeah, like you can even set up WooCommerce for the physiotherapists or like yoga instructors to allow for downloading their videos. So like you saw the downloads area, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 You
Like
can.
instead of physical products, you can have downloads. So in those downloads, you can have videos of like I don't know instructions or like something to
That's a good
sell.
idea, actually.
So it doesn't always have to be a physical product.
That's actually an excellent idea. I think gyms will start doing that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people start doing that.
Yeah. That's a good
Like,
point.
it's the stay in economy, man.
I don't. I still don't think it'll last.
I don't know how much of it will last, but I think a lot of what we're seeing right now will continue into the future.
Even after the.
Yeah, yeah, I think a lot of what we're doing. Like I think obviously people want to like see other people and they'll do that, but I think like all these new habits we're forming around the tools we're using will continue.
Yeah. Yeah. You're probably right. But we'll see what happens in the end.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. This is
Okay.
good.
This is good.
Yeah, let me know what happens with your project on your old laptop.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that today since this is fresh in my mind,
Yeah.
and then and any changes that happen, like I'll record it, and then I'll pass on the information to you.
So.
All right.
Peace out, little
Take
man.
care. All right. See ya.
See you.